Govind Damodar Madhaveti, Govind Damodar Madhaveti. Hey Krishna, hey Yadav, hey Saketi, Govind Damodar Madhaveti.
I've explained that this material world is a prison house. So how the living entity is bound within this material world, it's very amazing. The Lord is amazing, and His energies are also amazing. In a book, Yoga Sutras, by Patanjali, he explains that there are causes of suffering in this world. They're called kleshas. What are these kleshas? The first is called avidya, ignorance. The living entity turns away from the Supreme and wants to enjoy within this material world. Rather than developing transcendental love, developing love for this material world, putting this in the center. So the first cause of suffering or covering that comes is called avidya, ignorance. By this ignorance, one thinks that what is permanent is temporary, and they think that what is temporary, this body, relationships, they take it for being permanent. The next covering is called asmita. Asmita, it means that one now identifies with the body, the mind, the intelligence as being oneself. And then the material energy gives another covering. It's called rag. Rag means attachment. That we become attached to the things of this world, and we take that we have a permanent relationship with those things and persons. And we take it that those things and persons are meant for our enjoyment. This is rag. And dvesh, the next covering, is we become angry when things do not go in the way that we want. And the last, abhinivesh, we become completely absorbed in this temporary world, taking it to be eternal. These are the first set of coverings which are given to the living entity. You can think that, oh, after taking a nice bath, you dry off, and then you rub some cream on the body. This is like the cream. After putting on the cream, then the material energy, she gives you your underclothes. What is that? The mind. The mind is accepting and rejecting things of enjoyment in this world. Then more subtle than the mind is the intelligence. The intelligence is observing the fluctuations of the mind, accepting and rejecting, and the mind is the discriminating faculty. You're saying, yes, this is good, no, this is not good. You can afford this, you cannot afford this. This will be good for you, this will not be good for you. And then, even more subtle than the intelligence is the false ego, where we're caught up in identifying with the body and mind. Then the material energy gives the gross body, the outer garments, which is composed of earth, water, fire, air, and ether. And along with that is this conception that I am this body. In the Vedas, it's explained that there are many, many universes in creation. And each universe has different coverings. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. These 8 coverings. And there's a last, it's called the Mahatattva, which is the most subtle covering. Now, this body is a universe. And each universe has a soul that's prominent. That is us. But these coverings of earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, false ego are going now from gross to subtle towards the soul. And the last covering, Mahatattva, the 9th, is called the Chitta. It's like a mirror. Now listen very carefully. This last covering is the last covering between the soul and the material energy. And it has the effect that it duplicates whatever we see. It replicates whatever we hear. it manifests whatever we touch in such a way that it does it exactly and instantaneously. A mundane example. You have in your home a CCTV. The camera's outside and it's looking out on the drive, and anybody that's walking by, it's captured in the lens, and then it's relayed in the house where you have the screen and you're seeing. In the same way, we also have our CCTV. These eyes are like the camera lens, and it's capturing whatever is going on in the world. It relays it to the mind, and then the mind relays it to the screen of the chitta. It is manifest on that chitta exactly the sound, the form, the taste, everything is manufactured exactly. And then we, the soul within, we are observing that screen of the chitta. We're not directly seeing anything in this world. We're just like the person within his house that's looking at the screen, which is getting the message from the lens, from the camera outside. In the same way, we're witnessing what is going on in this material world. Now, this material world is composed of three energies: sattva, raja, and tama. The mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. Somebody who's in the mode of ignorance, a symptom, somebody who's intoxicated, very drunk, very drugged, then they will perceive the world in a particular way. Somebody who's in the mode of passion, very active, wanting to acquire so much, they also perceive the world in a particular way. And somebody in mode of goodness is very peaceful, calm, and is prone towards, they want enlightenment. You can say, for instance, if you're wearing glasses, the mode of goodness is like a clear glass, the mode of passion like a red glass, and the mode of ignorance like a blue or dark glass. So now, these different modes are affecting the body, the mind, the intelligence, and the chitta. And the soul is seeing the chitta, which is affected in this way, and we're perceiving the world in this way. In this way, we're completely incarcerated. But the material energy has a mystical power by which we think that we are the chitta. We think that we're the mind. We think that we're the intelligence. We think that we're the body. And in this way, we are completely bewildered. In the Bhagavad Gita, ancient book of the Vedas, it says, Prakrite kriyamanani gunai kamani savasaha ahankara vimudatma kataham iti manyate. That the bewildered soul, under the influence of the modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance, he's bewildered and he thinks that he's doing activities, but they're not being done by him. They're being done by the body. They're being done by the senses. They're being done by the mind. They're being done by the chitta. And in this way, he's completely bewildered. How can we get out of this situation? Bhagavad Gita says, Daiviyesha gunamai mama maya duratyaya ma mevaye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. That this material energy of mine is very difficult. Why? Because it's daivi. It is divine. It is empowered by me. And there's only way that you can duratyaya. You can cross over this ocean. How? Prapadyante. You have to surrender. You surrender to me. And how do you surrender to me? You surrender to my representatives. Those representatives who also have crossed over this ocean of material existence. And they're situated in this world to guide us to the other side. They're called gurus. Gu means andhakar, darkness, and ru means prakash rupena, that they have light. They've come to this world of darkness to give light. How we can cross over. By process of meditation, different spiritual processes, then the body becomes purified of the modes of ignorance, passion, and goodness, and then one comes to see things as they are. One is, the mirror of the heart is cleansed, and by this cleansing process, then one is able to distinguish that I am not this body, I'm not this mind, I'm not this intelligence, I am the soul. And then now, from this point of self-realization, one can progress towards the process of total enlightenment. So, we're very fortunate that the most efficacious way of becoming self-realized is through this mantra meditation. And the best place is where we're sitting right here on the bank of the Ganges. in Navadvip, the land of Gauranga. Nitai Gauranga.